So we've looked at IP addresses. It's funny how I keep saying types, and we still have more types. So I said we had two main types of IP addresses, IPv4 addresses, which is what we've seen so far. We've not touched on any IPv6. But I also have the concept of the types of IPv4 addresses. We have two main types of IPv4 addresses. So earlier on, when I showed you my IP address, you saw that my IP address on my computer was 192.168.1.100. And some of you may have also 192.168.1.100 in your network as well. I just want to say this. First of all, IP addresses are unique. They are supposed to be unique for everybody within a network. But this statement I just made is very, very specific. I said it is unique within a network. An IP address is more like an identity for a machine within a network. So it means that within a network, most IP addresses, or for every network, they should have variations. There's no way two different machines will have the same IP. But for some types of IP addresses or IPv4 addresses, you can see the same IP address within your network, and you can also see it in another person's network. So we have two main types of IPv4 addresses. We have what we call the public addresses, and we have what we call the private addresses. I'm going to use an analogy again. I don't think there will be a situation where two people within the same country will have the same passport numbers. I don't think. The reason is that the passport numbers are supposed to be unique. I think even in the whole world, I don't think two people have the same passport numbers, the whole world. There's no way two passport numbers will be the same, never. And so the idea of passport numbers is just what we call public addresses. So this is what we mean. So it means that for, let's say, a number like 20.0.0.1, if you go anywhere in this world, there's no way another computer can be 20.0.0.1. There's nowhere in this world. I'm telling you, there's only one computer in this world that will be 20.0.0.1, or one device that will be 20.0.0.1. The reason is that 20.0.0.1 is a public address. It means that it is a registered address. And so there's a body which is called IANA. You can go and look for it. And there's also ICANN. They're the same brothers. They're like the same family. One is a subset of the other. But if you go and look at it, they'll tell you that, okay, let me show you. So if I just do this and I search for IANA. So IANA they manage IP addresses. They manage IP addresses in the world. They manage domain names like www.something.something. That's why you never have two machines having the same. It's like a registry. So it's like you go there, you ask them, hey, is anybody using www.something.something? They'll say no, and it's okay, I want to use it. And then you have to register it and you pay a fee. Now, it means that after that day, nobody has access to that particular domain name. Then for IP addresses, they also give IP addresses out. Most of the time, what they've done is they've outsourced it, well, not outsourced, but they have different divisions for different parts of the world. So regions. There's Afrinic for Africa. There's different ones. I think there's something for Arnic or something. There's Afrinic. There's a lot of them. So basically, these are different people. Okay, so these are them. So yeah, there's Afrinic for Africa. There's RIPE for Europe. There is this one for the Americas, and these Latin people, and the Americas, and then the Asia group as well. So there are various groups, but this is still part of IANA. So they are in charge of giving IP addresses. They make sure that two public IP addresses cannot be given to two different machines in the world. So basically what it means is that you cannot just decide, sit down in your head and say that, oh, I'm going to start using 20.0.0.1. No, you cannot do that, because a number like 20.0.0.1 is a public address. And so it might have been registered with someone. And so we need to know who that person is. And so you cannot have that person's identity. It's for just that particular person or that company. So these people are in charge of it. So let me just look at the first one of it, which is maybe the Africa region. So assuming you want an IP address, you can go there and then let's say you request for IP address. And then I think here, you just go here. I think they'll ask you some questions, blah, blah, blah. And then, so they're saying that they are in charge of IPv6, IPv4 addresses, access, and then autonomous system numbers in Africa. So all those people in Africa. So these are the people, that's why sometimes we say that you can track somebody, because these are the people who can tell you that, hey, this particular block of IP address that the person sent you the message from is coming from Africa, or it's coming from here, and then they narrow it down. And then maybe in Africa, they'll say it's coming from Ghana, or it's coming from Nigeria, it's coming from something, because specific block of IP addresses are assigned to specific group of people or group of countries. And so there's no way. So if you pick a particular IP address, definitely we'll be able to trace or track where the IP address is. So you have to pay for it, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to the specific, but the idea is that every IP address will fall in a particular group, and then that group may be public or private. With public addresses, you cannot, so public addresses, you cannot, two different machines cannot have the same number. If I say two different machines, even if it's not within your same network, so even if this is 20.0.0.1, and you're using it within your network, there's no way another network will be 20.0.0.1. It will never happen. But with private addresses, so as I said earlier, private addresses are addresses that are not registered, so you don't have to register them. So for class A, the 10 address, you're free to use it within your network. Assuming you're not going to be connecting your network to the internet, you're free to use it, because another company can also freely use it. 172.16 to 172.31.255. This is also a class B block that you're free to use. You don't need permission. And class C, you're free to use. You don't need permission. These are private. They are not registered. Nobody cares when you use it. It's like your household nickname. It's not on your passport. So nobody cares about that name. It's only your group of friends. So maybe you may find your nickname, your pet name, someone having your pet name in a different country or in a different place, because everybody's free to use that same name. It's not registered. Like I said, your passport number, no two people can have the same passport number. Again, it means that public addresses are registered, but private addresses are not registered. And so that's the difference between public and private. So if this is the private ones, every other number in the IPv4 block, so from 1.0.0 to, let's say, 9.255.255, then 11 up to 172.15. Then we jump from 172.32, we get to 191. All these blocks, every other IP address apart from this one is a public address. And so all those ones are public addresses. And the only ones that are private addresses are these ones. So these are the ones you are free to use. But every other one you go there and then they'll give you. You don't decide what they'll give you. You go there and say you need an IP address. It's just like getting a passport number, or even getting a driver's license, or even getting a car registration. You don't decide what number unless it's customized. And even that, it has to be available before you can use it.